Happy New Year, and welcome to the Slow-Paced Knitting Space. My name is Michelle Matthews, and I'm a knitter and designer living in Northern Alberta, Canada. Welcome to new viewers, and welcome back all of you who have been keeping up with my videos. Thank you so much for your comments and rumbles and likes, and I just really enjoy hearing what you think about what I can't figure out what to do this or that, or I really like hearing what you think about what I'm knitting, and I've just enjoyed it so much. So thank you so much for being a part of this and coming back and watching my videos. I have so much feelings and it's really hard to get it out. And I try not to sound corny, but yeah. Anyway, if you are new, this is my video channel where I talk about things that I'm working on and the things that I want to work on and kind of whatever ends up happening in between there. So first thing I have to show is an FO from last year. It's not that old though, but it's my Advent socks that I worked on. I did not finish them before Christmas, but I finished them right after. And so these are Dropping Madness socks by Maria Ekblad. And if you saw my last couple of videos, you will notice that I decided to just make them plain. Just go with the stripes. I did not add a third stripe of this light pink, and I did not add any writing like I had been thinking about doing with stranded color work or with beads to say Xmas 2021. And the reason for that is these socks were getting really tight. The last time I knit these socks, they were huge and very loose and very stretchy, and that's probably because I used a thicker fingering weight yarn, a heavier fingering basically, and this one is mostly Knit Pick Stroll, which is a light fingering, and so it was just very tight, very small. By the time it was getting up to here, I really have to kind of inch these up on my feet, so I thought, let's just do the cuff, just do enough cuff that it looks alright and get them on and be done. So that's that. This, also, if you're new, these are not, each one of these is its own yarn, is a different stripe. So there are like 400 ends on the inside from each stripe. And this works really well with two solids, I think. Probably a solid and a speckle if it contrasted a lot. Like you can see right here, it doesn't contrast all that well because the speckledy part is so dark. So yeah. And that is the only thing I've finished so far. I have not even started Logan's second sock because I have been doing some other things. Oh, let me check my notes. Oh, I entered this sock into a group on Ravelry called Sock Knitters, and I just entered it in their month for December, not fitting their challenge prompt or anything, just I knit this entire pair in December and added to their yearly total because they always try and get 5,000 socks a year, and I won a prize! I win prizes a lot, as it turns out. And this prize is a 4-skein kit, and somebody in the States is sending them up to me, and I'm really excited for this. So just the most exciting kind of prize is to win yarn or a bag or something. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, and another thing about these socks is that as I was knitting them, it made me think about a pair of Advent socks. And so I have been percolating in my brain, thinking about making my own Advent knit along for December in 2022. I was thinking I might do a socks version and a cowl version because not everyone is a sock knitter. Although, to do color work as a cowl, you probably want to knit in the round anyway, but not everyone wants to end up with a pair of socks. So they might like a cowl better. They could choose to double knit it if they didn't want to knit in the round, which, not that double knitting is an easier technique than knitting, but it's still, if you don't want to deal with floats or anything, although I would try to design something that doesn't have a lot of floats, or doesn't have a lot of long floats, because I don't like doing them. But yeah, I really powered through those socks, and I really liked them, and they got me thinking about a lot of things. And for Christmas, also as a wrap up from my last videos, I opened up, on Christmas Day, the last, sorry, a bird just flew by. Okay, Christmas Day, I opened up the full skein for the holiday box that I bought in the charity auction, and this was the very last color, called Dahlia. And it has a couple different colors of pink and purple in there. It's very bright. I do like purple. This is not the purple I like. Oh, it's so washed out. I like the purple it's showing up in the video as. The pink. Here. That's better. Yeah. It's just not quite my jam, but that's alright. I'm sure I can make something with it that will look great, and I'm never disappointed to have more sock yarn, so there's that. And one of my friends bought me yarn for Christmas, and she bought me Midnight Cravings Lash Fingering in the colorway Curtain Call. It is a super gorgeous dark teal-y sort of color, and I did have this yarn a few years ago, like 2017 was 5 years ago. 2018 was 4 years ago. I had this yarn and I had made a shawl with it, and I used it all up. I don't have any left. So it's very nice, and I'm very excited to make something with this. I wanted to talk about, I said that I won a prize from entering those socks into a group. I wanted to talk about groups on Ravelry, because this year I am planning to be a little bit more involved, and one of the reasons is because in the Socks from Stash group, I am a featured designer this year. I'm so excited. It makes me feel like a real designer to be featured somewhere. So in the Socks from Stash group on Ravelry, they have their featured designers, and you can knit. They have monthly knitting challenges for socks, but for a featured designer, you can knit a pair anytime in the year. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It just has to be start and finished within 2022. And then you get entered in for a prize for whatever month you enter them. And so I am going to be, especially, I'm a featured designer for the whole year, but I'm a sponsor in April and November. And what I did to become a featured designer, I just asked them, I said, what does it take to be a featured designer? Is there a minimum number of patterns, or what's the deal? And I got a reply very, very quickly, and they said, you just have to donate a prize or two. And I was like, what? That's it? I can do that? I have 3 or 4 patterns. I have 2 sock patterns, a cowl, and a children's sock pattern. And so there's not really a lot of selection if someone wins one of them. But I was just like, that's it. That's all I have to do. Okay, I can do that. And yeah, so that's really, really exciting. And she put me in April and November because I said that I'm coming out with more designs this year. And so she gave me some time to put 1 or 2 out before someone would win a prize that I donate. So that's super, super exciting. The Socks from Stash group and the Sock Knitters Anonymous group are the 2 sock knitting groups I participate in the most. With the Sock Knitters one, I don't normally do their challenge, but I do enter my socks in for their yearly total. And Yeah, those are my 3. There's other ones, solid socks, but I don't knit with a single solid color as frequently as I just knit socks. So I don't end up qualifying for their group a lot. And also, Sock Knitters Anonymous, I think, is the only one of these sock groups that gives you 2 months to finish a sock, and not one. And I usually take the 2 months. Although in December, I did the Advent socks in the whole month. That's because it was Advent socks. You want to finish it by Christmas. But I entered that one in the Sock Knitters Anonymous for their repeats theme. And the socks from Stash, it didn't fit the theme, so it was just counting to add to their yearly total, and Sock Knitters was just to add to their yearly total. So, yeah. But, and this month, starting January for Sock Knitters Anonymous, is colorwork. And I come into this year as a designer going, I want to design more socks, for sure. This is the year. I'm really going to do it. I'm going to put out my coffee cup sock collection inspired patterns. That's a lot of words, and I don't think they all came out in the right order. Oh well. So I'm going to do that this year, and especially 2 of them are colorwork. And so when I see January's colorwork month, it's like, okay, we're doing this, and we're doing it now. So the first cup that I'm going to do is this one, and it took me a long time to think of what am I going to name it, because I thought of originally just naming them after what they say on the bottom. Lori Gates. Okay, Lori. And another one I thought of was Adelaide, but I decided not to do that one. But I changed my mind, and I'm going to call the sock from this cup Lattes at Home, because that's what I use it for. There is lots of room to have coffee and milk in here instead of just coffee. So whenever I make a latte at home, I put it in this mug. So, lost my train of thought. So, I wanted to get started on that right away. And in the Harry Potter Knitting and Crocheting House Cup, which I plan to be more involved in that this year as well, it's because in the last term, they tallied up Ravenclaw got all these points and had this many participators and did all these, and Slytherin did, and Gryffindor did, and Hufflepuff did, and Hufflepuff was like the lowest in all the numbers. And I was thinking, I am letting my team down. I am literally doing the barest minimum so that I can say I'm playing, and I'm not really trying. And they run out of spaces, so it's like I'm taking a space from somebody who maybe would or could earn more points for the team than I have been. And so I thought, well, I could not play, or I can maybe play a little harder or play a little better. I don't know. Do more than the barest minimum, I guess. Which, there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. Like, sometimes it's just going to be busy. You're not going to be able to, the internet game is not the most important thing in my life. But if I sign up to play this game, then I should play this game, I think. So each month they have classes, and then kind of going along at the same time for a period of time, they have Quidditch matches and headmistress challenges, but they also have advanced studies. So they have your owls, like in Harry Potter, and their newts, and they have something called dragons. But an owl is something that takes the whole term to do, 3 months to do. A newt, I think, is 6 months, and dragon is the whole year. And they also have order missions, like Order of the Phoenix missions. So I'm trying to... I don't want to geek out and turn off all my not Harry Potter fans who are still knitting fans. But I'm going to do all these things, not all of these things. I'm going to start participating in some of these things. And there's lots of options, and then if you do enough of them, it's like you're leveling up in the game. So I think I'm gonna go for some of that. And so you can't do newts or dragons until you've done owls. And so I'm going to do my first owl, and they have all the classes, and they have like a ton of options for owls that you can do. And one of them is to design a pattern. Hey, that's what I was already going to do. And so, yeah, it's over here, colorwork socks for January and February. Over here, make a design, January, February, March. And so I'm thinking, it could not be any more clear. Just do it right now. Now is the time. And so that's why I'm doing it now. And so I had to submit a proposal that outlines the work that needs to be done and why it would take this long, or what, and you have to point at a halfway mark, and why would that be the halfway mark? So I did this proposal and it got accepted right away, and then I can start working on it. And I feel like this is the one owl you don't have to swatch first, because swatching is part of the designing process, so it's a little different. But I had to give them a little sketch of what I kind of visualize, what I envision for the sock, and I got started. So first I will show you the swatch. I swatched this in 2.5 millimeter needles, which is, I think it's not uncommon to go up a needle size if you're doing color work to account for that it doesn't stretch as much. So I went up a needle size and I found out this just seems really big. It's going to look, it didn't have any negative ease. When I put it on my leg, it didn't stretch to fit my leg, it just sat on my leg. And when I put it on my foot, it just sat on my foot. And so I said, this is going to be really loose and not uncomfortable. It's not going to be the best. It's not going to be as good as it could be. And so I swatched the repeat again on 2.25 millimeters, and it was really good. So this is the cup, and this is the swatch. Oh, look at that. Let me just, there we go. There. I am so proud of this. It's so exciting. On the computer, I used a program where I worked out the chart to knit in a bunch of sizes. How is it going to work? How am I going to make it meet in the middle, or meet, well, on the back, but like from beginning of the chart to the end of the chart. The problem with making multiple sizes is that I can make this perfect for 64 stitches, and it fits on nicely. There's no, like, the full repeat works out. But when I translate that to 72 stitches or 56 stitches or 80 stitches, the full repeat is 32 stitches. Like, you need 32 stitches to do one. In 64, then you do it front and back, basically. You do it twice. But that doesn't work as well on 72 or on 56. And so you have to figure out somehow to fill in the extra space. Maybe you're going to spread everything out a little bit. Or maybe you're going to squeeze it in and fit like a mock repeat in the side, on the seam, basically. So that's kind of tricky. That took a little while, and then it's hard to make it look good sometimes. Or you make, where's the beginning of the round? Yeah, here. So this is the beginning of my round, for instance. Right on this line, that's where the round begins, and it is more or less seamless. There is no, and it was tricky, like there isn't an obvious spot. The leaves go this way and the leaves go that way, and that happens on the chart where some of the leaf is going to be on the beginning and some of the leaf is going to be on the end. And it lines up just right to make a full leaf, and you can't tell that the leaf is in the middle of the beginning of the round and the end of the round. And it was tricky to do that in the other sizes because they just had a lot of space. Some of them, they just had a lot of space that was too little to put in like a mock repeat, and too big to just let it be leaves like this. And so I had to figure out kind of how was I going to make that work so that it would look nice. Because part of me is tempted to just slap it down and make it work. But I was thinking, what if I needed to knit the 72 stitch one? I want one that looks really good and looks as seamless as the 64 stitch one. So I guess it made me have to actually work on it and not just kind of do something that would work, because I want to give each person, or well, each knitter, each size, no. I want any knitter who knits this pattern and picks whichever size to come out with a beautiful sock. Whether, I don't want to just, only the 64 stitches ones will get the better one. I want everyone to get as good a sock as I can make and as they can make. So yeah, it was a challenge, but I did figure it out. But the problem was that I was using a demo program and it doesn't save, so I had to screenshot it, and I'm going to have to put it all in something else to make the charts or buy the program, but I don't want to buy the program yet, although I think I will eventually. Anyway, so I don't know if you can tell the gauge difference there. This is the part that was knit with a 2.5 millimeters, and this is the part that was knit with a 2.25 millimeters. It kind of, you can tell it's a little bit narrower, and this one, it's not that it's stretchier, I guess maybe it kind of is. They're both kind of stretchy. But this one slid very easily over my heel. This one had to stretch a little bit. And it's tricky with color work because you still want, I still like to have my socks fit by negative ease, which means they stretch to fit on, they stay up. If they just sit there, they might stretch with wear, or if they just sit there, they're going to have a hard time staying up. But if they stretch too much, then the pattern gets kind of distorted. That's a problem I had with a different one I was trying to design. There, see how that kind of gets distorted? Or it just, yeah, it doesn't quite look as good. There, I don't know. There. I don't know. Maybe I'm being picky, but I wanted it to show the pattern well without being distorted, but also to fit a little bit. So yeah, I'm kind of just rambling now. So that is it. And I decided to cut the swatch so that I could use it as a reference while I'm knitting the pair of socks. And I'm back. My phone cut out some of what I was saying. So I just wanted to recap a little because I'm not sure what I'll end up making it from what I said. But yeah, I worked hard to make sure that this pattern would flow really well and fairly seamlessly for 4 sizes, and then I swatched it. The yarn that I'm choosing to use is kind of a heavier fingering. I'm using so the yarn that I'm using is it's yarn that I got from a D-stash a few years ago called 3 Irish Girls. There we go. 3 Irish Girls, and this is their Glenhaven Cashmerino fingering, which means it has fingering in it in the colorway Katharine Hepburn. It has fingering in it. It is fingering. It has cashmere in it, and I've never knit with cashmere before, so this is, it's really nice actually. It's super soft. Like, I don't know if it's actually a little squishier or if that's just my brain telling me it should be because it's cashmere, but it's just, yeah, it's really nice. I have been saving this for something special for me, and then for the longest time I realized it matched this cup perfectly. I've been saving it for the cup, going back and forth. Do I do it for a cowl that matches the cup? Do I do it for a sock? But in the end, sock won out. And then I'm using for the contrast color is Midnight Cravings Sweet Sock in their basic vanilla coloring. It's called vanilla, and I don't know if they dye it white or if it's just undyed, but it's white. And so this was my swatch, and I started knitting it the other night. And this is what I have so far. It's most of the cuff. I'm going to give it kind of maybe almost a 2-inch cuff, just because I want it to be super duper cozy. So there we go. That is super nice. And this is the yarn. I did cut off the swatch. I cut it off from the balls of yarn because I wanted to be able to reference it while I'm knitting or designing or whatever, just as needed. And I fully planning, if I end up running out of yarn from the cake, to uncast off the edge and just pull from the sock. And the thing about that is I didn't want to start knitting it with this knit and ripped out yarn. I thought it would not be quite as nice, and so I'm only going to do that if I have to, and then it would end up being on the foot, so it wouldn't really make a difference once it's been worn a few times. But if I can, I wanted to have it all fresh and unknit for the pictures, so that the sock would look unworn, I guess. I don't know. That's where I was going with that, but we'll see if I end up needing to do that or not. And yeah. These are Knitter's Pride 10-inch circular needles, and I just wanted to mention them because I've tried the 9-inch circular needles before, and they're just too small. Your hands are just like this, and it's just so tricky. And the ones that I had, they might have been a cheap set or something, but the ends were just really blunt, it seemed like, and I didn't like them. Because you want to be able to catch your yarn well with your knitting. You're done sleeping?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, Daddy, go to bed. Do you want to come sit with me? Oh. I don't have much left. Okay. Yeah, that's basically it. I've just started on this. I'm going to work on it. My goal is to finish the socks in February and finish the pattern by the end of March and publish it. I might publish it for the beginning of April so that since I'll be a featured designer, someone might want to knit it in Socks from Stash. I don't know. I want to get it ready right away. I might even do test knitters for this one. We'll see. I haven't really done test knitters before because I'm too impatient, pretty much. Oh well. Hey, honey. You gonna sit there? Okay, go get it. Yeah. Some knitters take their swatches and make like cup cozies with them or something. And so I tried that on my water bottle, and I am not really a water bottle cozy person. As it turns out. And I also wouldn't trust it. So that's what I have to show for my knitting. And the knitting groups I've been in. Oh, there's also one on Instagram. It's a hashtag called Comforting Socks Cal Knit Along. So K-A-L for knit along. Comforting Socks Cal. And that one, they had it. It's hosted by Hand Knit by Cam, and she did it last year, and she's doing it again this year, and I just really like it. It's nice to be a part of something, even though I'm not. I don't know. I knit my socks and I put the hashtag on the picture, and it's nice to do that, and then you can click on that and see who else is knitting socks, pretty much, and maybe you'll get a prize. Basically, that's the extent that I've been involved. But this year I have reached out to her, and because she was mentioning if you're interested in sponsoring prizes somehow, and so I reached out to her with that, and I'm going to donate some pattern prizes. And I'm hoping that she doesn't need me to donate a specific pattern, but I want whoever wants to be able to choose which one of my patterns they would like. So again, that's sort of more motivation to put out more patterns this year. My goal is 4 sock patterns that are based on cups. Actually 3 of them will be cups, and the 4th one I think might be kind of like a colorwork latte art sort of one, just because it's pretty. But I don't know. That one's still up in the air. And then I was thinking of also making a cowl version of this one that's double knit, because actually this pattern, there's some big spaces here on the cup, and so there are some big spaces on the sock as well, which means long floats. And for a cowl, it might just be nicer to not have to think about that and double knit it. And so it will be reversible, and that would be a lot of fun. Yeah. I have to decide what color I want to make it, because I don't have this color of yarn in any other yarn. This is the only one I have. And I was thinking the cowl might be like DK, so that it's really big and cozy. But yeah. So that my goal is to do that collection this year, and maybe like an advent thing as well. And we'll see kind of how that turns out. Oh, and my stretch goal is to finish design I started right around when my baby was born, which I will talk about in another video if I ever start working on it again. Yeah. I want to thank you so much to everybody who has been commenting on my videos. It really, truly is so encouraging to see these comments, and especially those of you on Rumble. I actually get more views on Rumble, and I have more subscribers on Rumble than I do on YouTube, but it is just so nice when you guys comment, and thank you so much. I kind of burnt myself out, not quite, but a little bit, last month by not by putting out 3 videos, but by doing the holiday one. And so basically I had 2 videos in less than 2 weeks, and that was a lot for me. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to do these, because I was tired. And then a bunch of people said they like watching them, or they like this or that, and so that made me feel really good, and made me encouraged to let myself get some rest, and then I would feel better. And that's what's happened. So yeah, I will still try to do 1 or 2 videos a month, I think. I like the idea of doing every 2 weeks, but I like the idea of a video coming out every 2 weeks, but I don't like the idea of committing to making a video every 2 weeks. So every 2 to 3 weeks is kind of where I'm aiming for. Yeah. So that's all I have. So thanks for coming, and bye for now.